I think this is working. What's up, y'all? Party people, 1 2 1 2. Look my hat. I want to swag out in here. See how much I want to swag out. I may make it a little dark. I think I'm in. Cha! I thought you had Bible study. Hello there, Raquel. How you doing? I wonder if I have a way of knowing how many people are on. I don't know if I have a way of knowing that. Maybe let me look at this other thing real quick. Oh yeah, I do have a way of knowing. Okay. Oh, good. So right now we got 3. Uh-oh. Right now we got 3. Let's let it. We're gonna give a minute. I have printed out all your questions, so we're gonna get to them in a minute. It's so weird. This is weird. It's not letting me keep Chrome and Safari on at the same time. Okay. I can fight if y'all want to. How's everybody's day going so far? No, cancel. I will. All right, it's all good. Kill me. This is different. Can't see the chat stream and watch at the same time. That is interesting. I therefore can't read the chat stream. It's different because it's like posting in real time. Pasta. You give us all that. All right, Pastor. All right, so when I get to let's see what's the magic number. Let's see when we get to right now we're at 10 people. When we get to 20 people, we'll start up. So I spent majority of the day at DJ Jazzy Jeff's house, and we had a meeting about the process. Right, I have to go out and comment on the post and click back and start the video. I guess I'm doing it wrong. Know about having leave it. Well, are you watching from your home? Like I was saying, so we had a process meeting. The great thing is that Jeff has put together a committee of guys to kind of be advisors, probably the best way to word it. And it's pretty cool. Oops. Peace, love, everybody. What's up, Alan? What's up, Tanya? I should start saying names of everybody. Yeah, I was watching from the phone. But couldn't see the comments? Yeah, I would think that But interesting enough, I think you might have to kind of scroll as well to see the comments. All right, we're at 12 people, slowly building up, ladies and gentlemen. No potential inappropriate message. So the one thing I'm trying to figure out. All right, so. Oh yeah, that's a dope joint. What's interesting is that we have to do a YouTube. We have to put this on YouTube. Like I'm doing a YouTube stream, and I have people commenting on YouTube stream as well as commenting on. Oh, this is interesting. So we actually have way more people than I thought we did. What was that? I think my son is trying to get to me. That was loud. He ran into a door or something. You know what? Let me tell. I think we're about to get it started. Let me tell. How do I want to do this? Hey, process people. One thing you can try. Well, you guys can listen to me while I'm typing it. Maybe if you click the actual video, it'll bring you to the unlisted. It'll bring you to the unlisted page, and then you can actually go and watch this on the YouTube thing, which will actually let you stream a lot further. So, like Sister Nicole, when I opened it from the when you open it from the Sister Nicole, when you open it from the email, you got an email about the process stream or something like that, and then you clicked it, and then it took you to this page. Is that a got you? All right, so I'm gonna tell them. Oh, you open it from the email. Got you. Hey, people on the process page, try clicking it. Should open it to YouTube. Try clicking the video or something. See if you can go straight to there. I think you'll be able to stream the comments a little bit easier. I'll go back and forth anyway. And besides, before we really even get into rocking, what's up, Troy? I got so many Q&As from you guys that we can get started. I think we got a good enough amount of people here. And I'll go back and forth. So I'm gonna start on the YouTube. I'll come back to the process to see if anybody's posting some questions. But let's get it started. Oh, something happened. There we go. All right. Yeah, so they said if you click on a video from the Patreon app, is this chat private or just for process? Tanya, this is just for the process folk. Is this chat private to just the process folk? I believe it is private to just the process. I believe it is. I might have pressed the wrong button, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Okay, so let's get this popping, party people. All right, did you create any new music from the playlist retreat? Not sure you talked about it yet. Yes and no. So the next Chasing Goosebumps album will actually be recorded in January. I cannot tell you the artist who was selected is not me. It is a female. I'll give you that. It's a female artist that will be used as the featured vocalist for the next Chasing Goosebumps album, and we're starting that early January. But during the playlist retreat, it's like 80 people, and it's like seminars. There's the brother D-Ray from like Black Lives Matter came and spoke. I mean, it's so many different things. It's actually incredible. But also in the middle of it, there's a brother named Gene who comes with like 20,000 albums, and people are buying albums galore. I bought a good amount. I Whisper, I spent a lot of money. Got some albums, but that's another story. And he creates these sample challenges. So he gives like them like 15, 20 different discs of samples, and then they break everybody up in teams, like teams of 5. My team was Czechoslovakia. I think that was my team. And it was me and a brother named DJ J Period, tall black guy who won my remix competition years ago. And there was somebody else, another amazing producer. I can't remember his name, from Virginia. Also, guitar player Simon from the group Killiam Shakespeare is also in my group. And you have 48 hours to create a song. And it's crazy because it was like 15, 16 groups. There's only 2 studios at the retreat. So we cut our song in the bathroom, a bathroom. Let me not say the bathroom, a bathroom. It was pretty crazy. I don't have a copy of it, which is the reason why I didn't send it to you guys yet. Nor do I have a copy of what I did last year or the year before. Last year's one was really, really good. That's what I'm gonna get a copy of that one, and I'll share it with you guys shortly. But it was good, man. It was really exhausting. And, to be honest with you, next year, for me, most people stay the whole time. Like they stay, like there's like these Winnebagos, and they're like staying at the place. And my kids are going to camp. I got this 2-year-old here, and we have a good amount of help. My mom's helping and stuff, but it just as much as I can get back. So I was pretty much driving home like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then getting up, helping getting the kids off to camp and all stuff like that. And I would go back. I think next year, I think my kids will be a little bit older, and I think maybe we'll, I think I'll probably stay up there, because then we did that. Then I came home. I drove my wife and kids to Virginia because my sister-in-law was getting married. It was also my 10th wedding anniversary. Amen. We'll celebrate in a couple of weeks. Then at 5 o'clock that morning, I got on a plane to Cali, did Long Beach Music Festival. Then got a red eye back to New Jersey and did the Willingboro Jazz Festival. And then I collapsed of exhaustion, and I woke up from a coma 2 days later. Next question from Deborah. Deborah's my good friend from the Capital Jazz Cruise. Do you think the United Tenors would do another project? If I'm being 100% honest with you guys, I don't think so. And I mean, we are the closest of friends. Matter of fact, Brian and Dave just texted me the other day. We all text each other pretty steadily. It's just more like schedule. I mean, Fred, who I talk to a lot, and I thank God every single day for having his friendship, for one of my heroes being one of my friends right now, is like still to this day mind blowing. But like, it's just, if I was a betting man, I would tell you that I would jump at a heartbeat to do it again. But it would take a lot of commitment, because Fred's a big deal. That's probably the best way to word it. So Fred comes with the organization, and it's possible. But I think Brian's career has taken off since then. Dave's career has taken off since then. And everybody had good careers already. So I would hope so, man. I listened to that album the other day and was just like blown away. Really, I was. Like, it's incredible. So I really hope I do. Nicole Kindred said, "Do you have a concept for this new project?" I guess the question is, what is the new project? What is the new project? Hold on one second. I'm sorry. B Jazz, talented producer, has called me twice. Brother Jazz. Got you. Well, do me a favor. Give me 1 second. I'm doing this live stream with the process people, and I'll call you. Probably like an hour. I'll call you right back, and then I'll also check on Cleveland, and we'll work it out. All right, brother. I appreciate it. I'll hit you right back. All right. Nicole and all you guys. So last year we put out Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I gotta really figure out what the heck I'm doing. But what I will tell you guys is that Raheem DeVaughn, Dwele, and I are planning to do an album or EP of some sort. I talked to Raheem today. I'm hosting Dwele's show on Friday in New York. I think that's really, really, really going down. OMG. So I actually cut a song last night that Raheem sent me a beat and wanted me to write to it. So that's at least the start. That's the very first start of all this. Now, Raheem has an album coming out, I think, before the end of this year. Believe it or not, he also called me today to see if I would sell him the What More Do You Want From Me? I'm still waiting on Fonte to decide whether that's a Tigalero record. So I think it goes first to Tigalero. If not him, then I'll see, and maybe we'll give it to Raheem, because I was honestly, I don't know if I'm putting out a project like that. I'll probably put out a single or some singles within the next 6 months. Personally, I think it's just gonna be like a lot of music. So of course you have the Me and Avery Sunshine EP. Somebody asked about it. I'll make sure I talk a little more about that. We have the Tigalero album, which me and Fonte said we are about to start working on again, hopefully putting out in 2019. Then we also now have the Raheem, Dwele, and I project, which literally officially started last night. And I will tell you that, listen, it's the process. I'm down to post as fast as I make it. So the crazy thing, let me tell you. So during the playlist, how can I show you? There's these things. Anybody who has a studio and has used Pro Tools knows about iLok keys, right? So the best way to word it, if I can, I lose them. Best way to word it is this little thing right here. This little thing right here is an iLok key, right? Okay. This holds all the licensing to all of my music programs. So if I lose this, I can't turn any music programs on. So I had an iLok key and I lost it during the playlist retreat. Lost it. So I haven't been able to do anything. And then I bought a new iLok key and had to go through bells and whistles to get all new programs part into it. God bless Eric Lau from the playlist retreat, who today put all my stuff in. But to say that also that I bought Ableton, which is a new system, and I didn't need an iLok key. And everybody, like 90% of the producers and songwriters at the playlist use Ableton. So I was like, okay, I gotta use Ableton. I gotta learn it. Okay, so I bought Ableton, and I literally had to learn. I mean, I spent all day in front of the computer yesterday, just pressing the wrong buttons and whatever. And I cut a song like 2 o'clock in the morning, just a hook idea. But I have no idea, like I don't know how to like dump it down or anything. So give me a second. I'll get the hang of that stuff. So there's like, I got to figure out what the project is, but at the same time, I'm willing to sell songs out. My goal is to write like 60 songs this year. We're at 20 already. Okay, maybe 40 songs since we're at 20 at the halfway point. We're halfway point. Don't sell some songs, put some albums out, whatever. Just the main thing is create. So that's the main thing. Will you maybe tape a session for the process family? I don't know why I just saw this one thing. Yeah, we'll definitely tape it. Okay, so Felipe said, not sure this question belongs here, but I'm asking anyway, Arrow. I write poetry all day and night. Just don't know how to transpose that to song form. I have trouble writing lyrics, even if I know what the topic is. Any pointers? Yes, often. I'm constantly writing poetry. Like constantly writing poetry. I'm not really one to sit down when writing a song with a pen and a pad. My last 5 albums, I pretty much have just kind of turned it on and just kind of found my way. My goal is usually, for me writing, is to figure out who I'm trying to become and then from there, let that person make the choices musically. I know how to make things rhyme. I know, melody, whatever. But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, Pen Just Cries Away was a poem. It was a poem, and I turned into a song. And there's a lot of songs like that. There's a lot of songs that are, for me, that were started as poems. Poems and songs are the same thing. It's just the more you get into song form, the more disciplined you have to be, because it's all about counting syllables, right? So if we go, what more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? It's 8 syllables. Boom, 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 boom. So when I go, what more do you want from me? Or every time I see you here, girl. It's like, just make sure it's the 8. So you might have to crunch your syllables to fit into whatever melody you're trying to do. But it's really, every song is a poem in some form, fashion. And really the best way I will look at it is, say, the title of your song, the title of your poem is kind of the chorus of your song. You know what I mean? But I can go through my phone and just scroll down. I mean, truth be told, so if I go to my so if we go here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but watch how long I can scroll. These are all poems. I'll randomly just click on one. And sometimes it's very small. It was because of you I believed in. Because of you I believed in love again that I can trust. Pardon my, that's probably me. I was probably driving. Pardon my, who knows what I was saying. But this is like, there might be a couple of little, obviously, business notes in here too, but most of it is song. Most of it is poems. Let's keep scrolling. I'm still scrolling. Still scrolling. So let's keep going. So this says, facing the fear that she's half gone and half here. Facing the fear that she's half gone and half here. Obviously, I got something, and clearly that's why I do a lot of this. I'll write down a little idea, and I write it down, and then I'll write a song of that. Facing the fear that she's half gone and half here. Good Lord, I know that. Let me take a picture of that. So I can remember that. But let's keep scrolling. Let's keep scrolling. This should show you just how much I'm committed to writing. So I may not write lyrics in songs, but I'm constantly writing so I can stay in shape. Game called Perfection. That's all I wrote. So a lot of these are okay. When was the last time you let God talk to you? He knows where you're coming from. You just have to let him through. Life is what you make it, so don't make it an arcade game. Did you ever ask yourself, was it God that gave you that pain? Because without pain, there is no healing, and without healing, and I never finished it. So, I mean, it goes in. I could probably keep scrolling. Look, and I'm scrolling fast. It's still going. So I'm completely committed to crunching. It stopped. Great. I'm completely committed to crunching syllables, to like combining words and making it work. All right, let's keep rocking. And I'm gonna try to get to this stuff too. You guys are rocking. I'm gonna do my best to stay on there. Okay, so Nicole is still talking about this new project. So, no, what's up, Nicole? Do you have any new collaborations for this project? Yeah, I mean, it's, for me, collaborations works with like whoever just stops by. Like literally every album that you've seen, every collaboration that I've had, from Marsha to Layla, was different because we were on the road. But most times it's like just the Algebra things. They just came to the studio. Jean, she lives right down the street. So, I'm just like, all the stuff usually just works out. I mean, to me, it's that's a process in itself. But I'm always inviting people. People always come in the studio, and there's always mics, and we're always ready. So I love the fact that we're collaborating, and hope we can hopefully have a lot more of that. The main collaboration right now, though, is Avery Sunshine Fonte Coleman, and Dwelle and Raheem. Do you get your music from poetry or just jotting down thoughts and feelings? Signed, a low-key poet. Okay, I just answered that question. I apologize. But Felipe intercepted your question. Name an artist that you would love to make a song with. Erykah Badu, Erykah Badu, Erykah Badu, Erykah Badu, Erykah Badu. There's a lot of artists, but Erykah Badu is probably at the top. Emily King, who's a good friend of mine. We haven't worked together yet. We ate a lot of pecan pie and drank tea, but we've never worked. But I would like to. I don't even know about writing a song for. Well, you said make a song with, so I would say she's at the top of my list also. Aisha B, I'm gonna make sure I answer your question. Let's see. Any plans of making another Tickler album? Dennis, I answered that question before. Yeah, definitely. We're about to start right now, actually, but I think we're not rushing it. I think it might take us 6. Once we get it started, I think it's gonna be real fast. But we plan on releasing it sometime next year. I've never come across an artist that's connected this much with their fan base or have valued the opinions of their fans. What has spawned your desire to want to connect with us, aside from the obvious? What's the obvious? So, no. Anyone who knows my start, this is how really we started. So I was a songwriter producer and had desires of being an artist again. And I got a bad breakup, and I made an album called Esoteric. And I put it out myself just because musically I wasn't happy, and personally in life I wasn't happy. Like this, going heartache, but at the same time I was very successful as a songwriter, but it was like stuff wasn't adding up. Right? It was like I had all these songs I wasn't willing to sell, and it was very personal. I said, you know what? I seen that route. I seen all these artists that are signed and they're not happy. Shit, I don't need to go there no more. You know what? Let me just put this album out. And I put it out. I toured with it, everything, and then I went back to like normal life. Somebody one day told me there was this forum called Soul 24 with people from all over the world, and they were talking about me. Somebody said, "Yo, you need to go to this forum. People are talking about you on this forum." I was like, "Word? Oh wow!" And I went on there, kind of like just like, "Hey, this is Eric. I appreciate everybody. I'm glad you guys liked the album. I didn't know people in Japan had it, or people in London had it, or people in Brooklyn or Chicago. But hey, I appreciate it." And immediately hit send. There's a whole bunch of comments. When are you putting out more music? We want more. Good at this. I was like, so the Vault Volume 1 was really, I was like, well, I got some more songs. I just wrote some songs. I'll put these together. And I did it just for that forum. And that took off. And of course, I was selling the songs from it, like Hold On went to Dwelle. And, obviously it was just a lot of stuff that was kind of leaving Carl Thomas record. So that's when I made Vault Volume 1.5, which was like my next album. And it was really because of the fan base from that forum challenging me to take it more serious, like really become an artist, really understand the business, really become a label, and like really do this. And so then we started our own forum called the Earth Family, Eric Roberson Forum or Eric Roberson Family. And that went on for years. And truth be told, most of my staff, Sweet Locks, who you guys all speak to, comes from that forum. Demo came from actually Layla Hathaway's forum, but pretty much was on our forum as well as Anshia, who does a lot of the booking. So like that, the team really was built from this forum that I pretty much talked to my fan base every day on. It was probably the first. I don't think there was really a setup where I probably would have posted songs on there if I could have. But it was really, really cool. It was really, really cool. And I think this is just another branch of that, Let's go. So Robert Glasper just spilled some tea about Lauryn Hill. Have you had any bad experiences with her? All right. It's a private page. Let's talk. I have not had any personal experiences with Lauryn Hill, but everyone around me has. But I will tell you respectfully is that everything that Rob said is pretty much true. Just pray for her, man. Like, you know, I don't know what's going on, but still has been off for her for quite some time. And I think you're seeing it now with her like showing up so late on shows and playing the songs all fast and different. But I'll tell you, I had a lot of friends who worked on Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and didn't get credit for it. Respectfully, I'll leave it at that. What I will tell you is that now let's talk a little more on that. Most of your big producers, most of the big producers that you've grown up listening and loving, has had silent partners, have had ghostwriters, ghost producers, and what I will tell you is that in that system, you know, it's like you got to do something, right? Like, okay, if you're not putting their names on the credits, you got to at least pay them, you know, some well-earned money so their name doesn't show on the credits. Or if you're keeping all the money, at least put their names on the credits. You know, you have guys like Jermaine Dupri. If you ever really studied Jermaine Dupri, there'll be 15 names after Jermaine Dupri, because Jermaine was pretty much just a lyric writer and a drum programmer. He needed someone to play keys and play bass and all this stuff like that. So it was always produced by Jermaine Dupri, Brian Michael Cox, such and such, whoever he needed to add on to get the stuff done. But then you have these other producers. I mean, you know, these guys sometimes are making $100,000 a song. Okay, so then they're gonna call up somebody else and go, "Hey, I like this song. How much you usually get? You get $5,000. How about I give you 20? You give it to me. I put it under me. I get $100,000. You know what I mean? And at the same time, like, you know, when you become this big super producer, and everyone's calling, and not just calling so that you get on their album, but they're calling so that you can give them that smash record. A lot of them can't keep up with the demand. So of course they're going to get a team, you know, to create, you know, content that they can then sell under their brand. It happens all the time. I mean, it happens really. The mistake that Lauren's team, who also are equally as guilty in this particular situation, is that everyone involved was just treated as a session musician. I don't know why, but they weren't. There's no point where they offered money, nor were they offered credit. And I think that's where the lawsuit stuff came about, and that's where it got really, really messy. And you know, it's unfortunate. But I'll tell you that, you know, something's musically is something's off with. I remember about 7-8 years ago, sitting with a musician, one of my friends, and I couldn't even tell you who it was so long ago, and they get a phone call to audition for Lauryn Hill. I mean, we're doing cartwheels in this pizza store, like, jumping up and saying, "Oh my God, this is the greatest opportunity ever." Only for like 2 years later, I'm sitting with somebody and they get a phone call and they go, "Guess who that was?" And they look at each other and go, "Lauryn Hill's team." Oh God! And everybody's sharing their stories. So I don't know, man. It's really weird, man. But like I said, just pray for him, man, and hopefully it gets on the right path. Everybody has issues. Everybody has stuff they're working on. I think that we all should take a minute and be thankful for what we have and don't have in our heads. And peace is probably the most important thing out of everything. As much as I love Marvin Gaye's music, I wouldn't want to spend one day in his shoes. He was tormented and he's really suffered. I would never be able to probably make music as good as him, but I appreciate that I'm at peace. And peace is not guaranteed. So I work every day on maintaining that peace and keeping it healthy and keeping it near to me. So I mean, let's pray for her as well. Okay, so it is 9:34. I've gotten through like 2.5 questions. If y'all having a good time, man, post down here and say you know, what's up and so that. And I see there's a whole bunch of questions over here too, so I'm gonna try to get to most of this. Okay, let me get to do you have any more good news about getting vinyl processed? And are you going to do a pre-order or waiting list? Yes. You know what? I have not called the vinyl guy, and I apologize. It's been all over the place, and I lost his card. But then I got his number again from Jeff today, and I will do it. Like I said, he presses it up in real time, which is the reason why he gets such a quick turnaround. We'll have it in like 2 weeks. What we have to really realize is what we have to figure out is I'm going to create a poll system on whether we're going to create a process mixtape, like a process vinyl. Like I say, you guys vote on the top 10 songs, and we press that up, or then we go, hey, which one albums you want? The problem with I think if we go with every album, like, yo, I want Left, oh, I want The Vault, oh, I want Music Fan First, yo, I want The Box. What happens is I think each one is a separate mixing process. I think may really slow down the overall process. What I would love is to, like, in 2 weeks from now, be shipping out vinyl. So what I have to figure out, it's definitely happening. And he can do the artwork too, I found out. But I think the artwork has to be adjusted to fit for the vinyl, and then, you know, but it's happening. As a matter of fact, I'll make a mental note to call him tomorrow, and I'll put a joint in so we can kind of talk. We can kind of talk and figure out which way we're going to do this. All right. You and Fonte playing. I've often heard artists say that their songs are like kids and they can't choose a favorite. As a father of one, I know that to be untrue. Not just kidding. But if you can, what song of yours is your favorite and why? Also, quickest song and longest song it's taken you to write. Favorite song I ever wrote was is the song Penalty that we posted on here. I haven't redone Penalty. I need to. And hopefully I will one day. But I just enjoy the record. It gives me a good feeling. And I think every time I do a song, there's certain songs that give me that kind of feeling. I think Richest Man I know gave me a certain feeling. The Hospital song gave me a certain kind of feeling. It's hard for me to name like just one. But you know, that's how it works. The quickest song I ever wrote might be, I mean, there's probably a ton of them that's really quick. The one that comes to mind is Rebound. That was on Vault Volume 1, a song I did for Carl Thomas. And I think, you know, I was going through something at the time, and I sat at I'm not a great piano player, but I can hum things out really quickly. Like, find a chord, and I can play it, right? I was really going through something that day, and I sat down, and I don't think I even, as fast as the chords were coming, the words were coming. Funny Feelings was that way too. And on another day where I was really, you know, another ex-girlfriend problem, whatever. That time I was really frustrated. I picked Funny Feelings. I picked the guitar up. Mind you, my dad plays guitar. I never touch my dad's guitars. I would get a beating if I touched my dad's guitars. And then one day I'm home from college, and my girlfriend from college lived in New Jersey, and I lived in New Jersey. And for some reason, we're home like Christmas break, and we haven't spoken in like a week or whatever. And then she called. Whatever happened, I hung the phone up, and I had two choices. I was either going to pick my dad's guitar up and smash it against the wall and break it, or I was going to pick the guitar up and write a song with it. And I picked the song up, and I wrote Funny Feelings. Like the adrenaline, the anger, the frustration made me literally put my finger down. Every time I put it away to the funny thing. And I was like, my dad walked in like, when do you start playing guitar? And I was like, Dad, wait, where's that at? And he's like, put your finger right there. I was like, all right, get out. And then the song was done. Longest song I would think would be Pretty Girl, just because I felt the second verse was getting too preachy. So it took me like 5 years to do it. The best way to word it is I wrote Pretty Girl at the same time I did When Love Calls. When Love Calls was on the Vault Volume 1. Then I put out 1.5, the appetizer, the live album, and then Pretty Girl landed on Left. Do the math or whatever, how long that was. and that's how long it took me to do. But one day I figured it out, and like in instant, I was able to write the rest of the song. But it came out, you know. All right, are you and Phonte planning to work on some more projects? I can't wait to hear more projects of the realest artist that engages to his fans. Thank you. I wanted to say your skills as an artist can freestyle like a rapper. Thank you. I would like to see it in the studio. Keep bringing the heat. Kev Cook, I appreciate it. I definitely will. You know, I've been hesitant to like live stream like a full out writing session because it actually is very boring. And like to really see me think through, like there's probably more failure in that than like success. But like I said, I'm not really one to write lyrics down in the studio. I like to kind of live it. But it's a long process. I mean, it's like, you know, it takes a long time. And and I gotta get through, you know, I gotta trust the process that you guys are willing to sit and nap through the 3 hours of me getting through a verse, you know, and trying to create it. It's not like I'm not like Biggie or Jay-Z who just writes it in my head like, oh, I'm ready to hit record. You know, I'm literally like in the moment. You know what I mean? So Alice said, I love your music. You have quite the collection. And yes, even the collaborations with other artists. My question is, if you're seriously thinking about pressing vinyl that Process members may be able to purchase, would you consider doing an exclusive mix of songs posted here instead of your previous albums? Yes, and that's why we're doing the Q&A, the survey that we're going to do on here for you guys to figure that out as well. James Rivers said, when you are not actively working in the studio, who do you and what do you listen to and why? What do you hear that inspires you to write, to compose? Now, I'm listening to a lot of stuff, but really, it depends on what mood I'm in. Because I'm always, my favorite jazz band is Brian Blade's Fellowship. Blade's a great drummer. That's my favorite band. But I listen to Robert Glasper stuff, soul stuff. I mean, King, Emily King, you know, a lot of my friends' records. You know what I mean? So I'm constantly always searching. I'm always searching for like that record that makes me go, "Oh my God, I wish I wrote it." Constantly, that's like my main thing. But I'm constantly still pulling like old Tribe Called Quest records and stuff like that. You said what was the part? Where is that at? What do I hear that inspires me to write or to compose? I just hear stuff. I just hear stuff. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I feel very fortunate that I feel like I keep my eyes open. So if I see a couple doing something, it speaks to me. If I love talking to elders because they might say something wise, slick, and I go, okay, that's pretty fly. I don't believe in writer's block. If you know, and I think we're gonna do a songwriting workshop on here. And I talk about I don't believe in writer's block. I believe in writer's blindness, and a lot of that is I think we close ourselves off of the opportunity of writing songs. There's plenty of stuff to write about. I think we just we choose not to write it. You know, so for me, I just try to stay open. Where am I at? So Lisa Jones said, "How's the Avery Sunshine project coming along?" It's not really coming along to that much. I mean, we cut a lot of stuff, a lot of ideas, a lot of stuff that she likes. I mean, the main thing is that she's very, very busy. And I think, intentions are well, and that's a very good friend of mine. Me and Dana talk pretty daily, and they got some great stuff on the horizon and great opportunities that are popping up. I mean, I think a lot of times this stuff is just rocking. What's going to happen is that I think at some point I'm just going to have to kidnap them and bring them to the studio, and we just get the stuff done. I mean, there's enough records that I wrote and I put to the side that that I don't think it's going to take long. Plus, she plays so well, he plays so well that we can really get in, and we just got to find that time. And their tour schedule is amazing. What I will tell you also is that they, not to spread their business, I don't think this is not that they would want me to share. They bought a new house recently, and they're building their studio in their house. I think that also is playing a part. So we were actually trying to have like a Christmas release. I don't think that's happening. Realistically, I think we're definitely going to do something, but it's probably more 2019. What's the difference between writing for your own project and writing for someone else? Do you approach it the same way? I approach it the exact same way. Back in the day, I didn't. When I was heavy into songwriting, we get these who's looking lists. I'm signed to Sony. I have a publishing deal with Sony, and they send out like this who's looking list like every 2-3 months of like all the artists and what they're looking for. And we say, okay, Mary J. Blige is looking for a song, and we're singing a song and trying to be Mary J. Blige, and okay, Maxwell's doing this, so I'm gonna sing a song. No, now I think I kind of have a set kind of style and how I write. So it's like if you want an Eric Roberson song, holla at me. If I'm not using it for my album, it's more power to you. But not everybody does it that way. But for me, it works. I always tell the story that I wrote a song for Mary J. Blige. Obviously, the label passed on it. The song then landed on Glenn Lewis, which is interesting. I wrote a song for a woman, and it landed on Glenn Lewis. Unfortunately, he got dropped before the album came out, and then the song landed on Charlie Wilson. I wrote a song for Mary J. Blige, and it landed on Charlie Wilson. Just right. Okay. Heather says, what is your favorite Capital Jazz cruise? What was your favorite? The Super Cruise or the Soul Cruise? I hope we do more Soul Cruises. That's tough. That's tough. I probably have to say, the Soul Cruise was special. The Super Cruise, first of all, for those who do not know, I'm one of the hosts for a cruise called the Capital Jazz Super Cruise. I've been doing it for like 7 years now or whatever. If you want to see a whole nother side of me, as well as like just you want to get your Eric Roberson fix, get on this boat. And it's like, I don't know, like 6,000 people on this boat, 4,000. I don't know how many people on this boat. And I'm hosting shows, I'm performing my own show, we're doing these jam sessions, and it's just a wild joint. And then we wilding out in the hallways. We wilding out at the omelet station, so it's cool. But the Soul Cruise, we went to Cuba. I think just the Cuba alone was special. It was really, going to Cuba was like really, really special. So I would probably have to say the Soul Cruise. And I hope we do it again. I think his goal is to do a different type of cruise every 2 years. So he has his Capital Jazz Super Cruise every year, and the Soul Cruise would be like, So Heather rocked. Heather got like 5 questions on this paper, like rocked. You perform at festivals. Since it may not be your core audience, does that change the songs you may or may not perform? Have you ever changed the playlist at the last minute depending on the energy of the crowd? All the time. So there's songs like Change for Me that you have to do in Chicago, and you probably wouldn't do in Phoenix, Arizona. But at the same time, I think a good show is a good show. So, for me, early on, I didn't have help with radio play. We were independent. So I would get on stage, about to do a 30-minute set or 45-minute set, and no one knew any of the songs. So we were like winning crowds over. And that's the same thing you got to do when you got a new album out. Like a lot of people still don't know these Earth, Wind & Fire songs, and we have to do them. This is the new album. It's what we're selling. So we're trying to give you all the other songs and trying to give you these new songs. And some places feel like, tonight is a Dreams Don't Have Deadlines crowd. And tonight is a Superman crowd. So we're constantly, trust me, that we're backstage, talking it out. And we did the Long Beach Jazz Festival. Average age was above 50 years old, and we're like, do we do the hip hop tribute here? The hip hop tribute here, where I do like Biggie Smalls, Big Papa. We've done Benita Bum. We just added 2 shows Below the Whistle. We do Method Man and Mary J. Blige, You're All I Need. And it's like, okay, do we do this at a jazz festival? And, we chose to do it, and it still rocks. So, you do change it. You do kind of try to make sure you're catering to your audience. Listening to Tamir, you have 3 sons. How will you approach the conversation about police with them? With prayer. I think the conversation has started today, and it's funny. It started already. I had a conversation today while I was at Jeff's house about this very thing. About you pray that you think you have to, but I pray that you never have to have the conversation in a point where they will ever really experience. I pray my kids never get pulled over by cops. I've had a gun pointed in my face twice in my life, and both times by police officers. Um, and I pray that my kids will never experience that. And the first time was my senior year, leaving play rehearsal in Raleigh, New Jersey, where I was captain of the football team. I lead in the prayer lead in the play, and I was one of those guys who I sang the national anthem at like the city events. On MLK Day, I would do like the Martin Luther King speech. I was that kid, right? And dropping off some of my white friends in the white neighborhood at the play rehearsal. I was surrounded by 6 cop cars and pulled out of our car at gunpoint and had to lay face down on the street as a senior next to a very busy street and very embarrassed thing, so much so that the mayor of Rahway called my family the next day to apologize. Second time was at Howard University, and I was once again leaving play rehearsal and driving home, and for some reason 2 black cops pulled me over, and they pulled the guns out, and then we got the car, got my key out, the whole thing. I had a Toyota 4Runner, and the only thing in that car was my script. Crazy enough, my senior year when I was pulled out of the car, I was pulled out of a van, my dad's van. The only thing in the van was our scripts. But I pray that, I think we try to keep our kids prepared, but I pray they never have to experience racism or profiling of any sort like that. It's tough. But I think, the Tamir song, I wrote it not for people to have an escape. I think most of the songs that we write so that we can help you daydream, we can help you fantasize, we can help you escape, help you forget about what your problems are. I said, Tamir was the first record I realized my intention was like, I may only have you listen to the song one time. You may never listen to the song again, but in this one time, I'm going to get you. And you're not going to be able to escape the fact that somebody lost a kid senselessly, because no one stepped up. All right. Snoop posted a video clip listening to one of your songs. Were you surprised he knew your music? What artist shocked you by knowing your music? I heard numerous times that Snoop is a big fan of mine. I'm always honored, always caught off guard when he's posting something. But I will tell you the funny thing about this is at least three times, someone in his band has called me up and has said, yo, I'm sitting here with Snoop. We talking about you right now. He wants to talk to you. I'll call you right back in 5 minutes. They just never call back. It's happened like 3 times, like literally. So I think one day I'll talk to him, But it's funny. I mean, I think there's been fans. I remember Too Short's team was a big fan of mine. His manager, road manager at the time, was a real big supporter of mine. Scarface, when he ran Def Jam South, was a real big fan of my songs. He didn't know who I was, but he was a big fan of my work and hired me for a lot of stuff. So, I mean, he didn't know me by face, but he knew my music. So, I mean, I think fans are fans. I think Snoop is a big fan of just good music. So I think that's pretty dope. Heather also said, I like Devin the Dude's music. Who is your, what I would like to call, guilty pleasure? I listen to everybody. If it's dope, it's dope. I think Travis Scott's new album is really dope. I listen to Drake. I listen to Nicki Minaj's last brand new album, and I think she's like once again really rhyming again. To me, dope is dope. I'll listen. I listen to the Migos. Like if I'm late night driving, if I'm driving home at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not playing George Duke. I'm playing Migos. I'm playing Travis. I'm playing that crunk, disrespectful hip hop that keep me awake. So I listen to everything, though, man. I listen to everything. I heard you perform Biggie's song at numerous shows. Whose idea was it to perform Blow the Whistle at the DC Winery show? I enjoyed it. Now, I like this question. So it was my idea, and it was actually after I did the Tom Joyner cruise. And literally they played Blow the Whistle probably every 45 minutes on this cruise, and like everybody went crazy every time. It was like, I've been trying to figure out what's a new hip hop song that we could do that could like, keep things popping. And so I remember like, Whistle, this makes sense. When we go to the West Coast, it finally have a song I think that could work for that. And what I'll tell you is that I remember several members of the band like just not agreeing. Like from the moment I mentioned it, like, word? Like, why you do that? Like, that's gonna work? That's too much, or whatever, like that. And it was like, I remember like fighting to like maintain, because obviously before I spoke it, I like imagined it out. Like I already saw like how the pieces would work. And I've also saw how all ages responded to this record. So like, it's very important to try to like drown out naysayers, especially when you're the one who's having the imagination. It's like, no disrespect to my band. I love them tremendously. I'm not talking about them as a whole, but really the band is like the legs, right? In this particular situation. So like I'm coming with an idea and I need your legs to move to carry it out. So I can't really afford my legs to be like, why are we taking this step? So I remember like being very quiet and like just ignoring most of the comments. It was a lot of like, so how you gonna get around this B word? Wow, man, this is a little risky for you. It's gonna be different. So okay, we're doing the West Coast. We're gonna do this East too, like East Coast too, like they too short. It was a lot. It was a lot of that. So we did it. I think we did Chicago first. And people, it went crazy. And next time we had rehearsal, I just said, I remember we had rehearsal, and one of the guys said, "Man, I'm really surprised that worked." And I was like, "You're surprised because it wasn't your idea." You know what I mean? Like it wasn't their idea to do Big Papa. Like, you know what I mean? I had the idea of saying, you know what? I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to step in front of the whole crowd and I'm going to sing a jazz version of Biggie Smalls. And let's be very clear. I usually don't pat myself on the back. Show me one person who did this before me. Like really. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people doing it now. But like that idea was a fresh idea. We've been doing it for years now. Like, but at the time it was unheard of. It was like, but at the time we put out independent records, it was unheard of. Like, so like I just really talked to him saying like, you gotta be really mindful of like how much you're talking down on somebody's idea. But I waited for the idea to work so that it could be a lesson for them. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it worked. And now you're saying, wow, I'm surprised it worked. Well, you know what? You probably should have been quiet and just waited. Your statement would have made more weight if it didn't work. And then you say, wow, I kind of, but like, while someone's dreaming and planning something out, like sometimes you gotta let it work out. And most times I'm not coming up with stuff like crazy outlandish. I've probably thought it through before I said it. And that was another thing I kind of thought through. But I mean, I thought through Big Papa. We're taking the same chance. I say, allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes. I'm singing that to a 60-year-old woman. We're taking risks. Let's take it. And it goes by the same rule. I'm willing to fail in front of people at the risk of possibly making something magical. And I think that has been a magical moment right now. So, blow the whistle. Definitely like another UT project. We answered that question. Thank you to Marvin. First and foremost, thank you for the process. You're very welcome, Christina. Introduction to artists you have worked with. Therefore, I wanted to know if Vertical Current has opened for you in the past and possible future. Do you have a say on who opens the shows for you? Yes. So Vertical Current has opened for me. I think they're going to be opening up more for me in the future where they're available. What usually happens is if you look at the last 2 years, Demo, my background singer, is the most recent of my band to have put out an album. So he's pretty much done a lot of the opening act stuff. We have another background singer named Jeff Morrell. He's working on his album, obviously, when his album comes out. he'll get the same opportunities. My keyboard player, Aaron, is a jazz musician, and I think he had a Christmas album. So most Christmas, we do a Christmas holiday show in New York every year at SOBs. We have another one coming up this year at Christmas, and Aaron usually plays that because he has a Christmas album. So we don't always have a say, but when we do have a say, we try to let whoever's on deck have that opening opportunity so that they can kind of promote their records. Have your latest works been inspired by other forms of art? That's a great question. Art expression. If so, what form? Favorite artist, author, favorite museums, galleries, and books? I have bought 16 books this year. 16. Like after I finished Earth, Wind, and Fire, my plan was to just vegetate and read and read and read. I got through one book, and it actually wasn't a book out of the 16. I read one book, and then I just got back into writing. So yes and no. I think a lot of right now, I think just the creativity is what's really promoting it. But if I answer your question, my favorite artist, I'll probably say Stevie Wonder. Favorite author ranges. I'm very much like a autobiography theme. What's the guy who wrote Troubled? I'm saying his name wrong. HU stand up. Ta-Nehisi Coates. I finished his first book, which was a very difficult read. I had to read it out loud to really do it. James Baldwin. I'm sorry, my favorite author. Favorite museum I haven't visited yet. It's in DC. My wife has went. My family has went, but I have yet to go. I plan on going. My favorite book would be between Miles Davis autobiography or Rick James autobiography. The black cover. The Rick James one, the black cover. You got to get this book. If you love Dave Chappelle's Rick James stories, it has nothing on the book. The book is amazing. How do you balance it all? Family, work. We're rocking right now. I'm almost done with these questions. Then I'm gonna rock these questions. We're at 10 o'clock. Let's keep rocking. How do you balance it all? Family, work, etc. Knowing what hat you're wearing and when you're wearing it. And I think trying the best to include your family while you're working. As much as I can, when I can bring my kids, my wife to my shows, as much as I can bring my kids and my wife into the studio, it helps in the time because that stuff takes time. And at the same time, I believe in the Parenthood Tour. Shout out to Stokely from Mint Condition. That we mainly only tour Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I try to be home and be present on Monday through Thursdays. And I'm fortunate for the opportunity I have where my career is at, that I can kind of set that pace and still be successful, but yet at the same time, still be home. So also we have a podcast that I believe I'm almost done with it. My first podcast, which is based on Prince, we'll be posting next week, I believe. I'm like editing. And then the next one that I plan to work on right after that is called The Balance. And it's going to be talking to artists that I really respect about how they balance the music business and their family and their friends. What was the last concert you attended? One where you were not performing or hosting? That's a good question, Heather. The last one I remember, and this is probably not the last one, was Moonchild. I feel like that's the last concert I attended. Me and my wife went to when they came to Philadelphia. I could be wrong because that was actually some time ago, but that was the last one. And they killed, they smashed. There's only 4 people on stage and they were smashing. So I remember after that I was telling my band, like, somebody better learn how to play saxophone and sing and play bass at the same time. I know that somebody can be 5. Shout out to Moonchild. Have you ever given a song that you've written to another artist and then later regretted that you didn't keep it for a project of yours? If so, which one? Ashley, William, I've never. If I didn't want to give it to him, I didn't give it to him. Yeah, that's probably the best way to. What I'll say is that I had a song called "Be With You" on the Vault Volume 1. 112 cut it, and I probably was like, maybe I shouldn't give this to them, but then I gave it to them. I was fine with it, and then it didn't make their album, which was fine. I kept it. But it wasn't like I wasn't like, don't. You know what? That's not true. It's not true. That's not true. You know why? I gave Pretty Girl to Musiq Soulchild, but even that situation was like, it wasn't like it wasn't like I regretted giving it to him. The label was playing around with it, so I took it back. That's what happened. That's all. Okay, Bilal. I peeped the songwriting seminar you have in September. Would you be interested or even thought of doing a vocal seminar? Yes, I haven't, but I would. And I'm down to do it on the process. We're going to do a songwriting workshop on the process as well. Stay tuned for that. But a vocal seminar, I got to think through that. But yeah, I would be interested in doing that. Question. What are some of the key components used to balance your home life, career, and fatherhood? You've been doing it for a while, so I'm sure you figured something out. We just answered that, Bilal, but one thing I will add is just make sure you communicate with your partner. Communicate with my wife that we plan it together. You know, we really map this stuff out. She's my soundboard, and she's really critical. She's my toughest critic. I mean, toughest critic. So, you know, whether it's a song, whether it's a tour schedule, whatever it is, I think it's important. Now, just keeping it 100, I think in the art field, we as musicians and artists, our work is looked at as a hobby. No matter how much money it makes, no matter, you know, how busy you can be. So I think it's very important to allow your art to be seen as a business so that those around you can understand that. I think my wife has a very clear understanding this is a business. And even though, you know, I love doing it, and it's a blessing, you know, since she realizes it's a business. What helps in the support of getting things done. Top 5 influential music artists. Woo. Stevie Wonder, Commission, Tribe Called Quest, Jay Dilla. Number 5. It's between Michael Jackson, Prince, and D'Angelo, and Lewis Taylor, and Radiohead. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. No, Radiohead has to be in there. So, okay. So, Bill Withers. Jesus, I can't do it. I can name 4. I can't name the 5th one. Woo! I'm going crazy. Question number 3 of 100. I know that's right. Top 5 music artists of 2010. Of the 2010s. King. Emily King. PJ Morton. Drake. Who is another and I cannot think of? Fonte. I think Fonte helps me sum that up. Okay, so we rock that out. We are now. Let's see if y'all see the questions we got here. First of all, man, shout out to the process, man. You guys are doing great. At 250 people. I'm real satisfied with all the love and support. We'll definitely keep doing some advertisement and some funky ways of hopefully expanding the campaign. It'd be great if, you know, we get more. What I'll tell you is that, you know, I think this is a way of really sparking creativity. Hopefully everybody's learning something from it. And if you want me to show even more of that process, I think, you know, I'm more than willing to do it in hopes that it can really expand stuff. And, you know, obviously this is a financial thing, realizing that at 250 people, it's covering a small thing. We have a 5-person staff that covers this whole thing. That's on salary. And what I will tell you is that as this thing grows, we're just only turning the finances of what this builds back into it to make it even a more bigger project. I think we'd love to make it into like almost, should look at it like this is a TV show, or this is like it's its own channel in whatever way, audio channel, whatever. It's its own channel. We're doing podcasts. We're showcasing other artists. We would love to really grow this into something really, really big. So Daryl said, where do you normally get your hats from? I'm a hat fan as well. So Daryl, most of my stuff is from a store in New York called JJ Hats. They've been around for like 100 years, and mainly because they have really big size. I got a really big head. I wear like a double XL. I'm proud to say it. And so they got hats in all sizes. So for me, a lot of it was first like finding a hat I could fit, and then I had to find like what worked for me. You know what I mean? So now like I'm completely hooked. Callie, so love this Q&A. What career would you love to do outside of any music? No producing, songwriting, etc. I think we'll still be in creative. I think I'll be making socks, or I'll be in fashion, or designing clothes, or writing scripts, something like that. It would still be, it would still be in there, that realm. She also asks, do you plan on finishing Take Care of Me? Yes. I mean, there's gonna be a point where like right now I'm going this creative spurge of like create. And now like I'm about to take a step back and go like, all right, let's finish and tighten these things up, make them sound better. And Take Care of Me is another song that I think we need to like revisit and like really tighten up. Like what needs to happen in the strings, or do I need to re-sing it or whatever? It's a great record though. And I think a lot of people on this process page don't know it. So we'll be posting it again soon. What music lessons, mentorships of any kind have you had over the years to keep up your skills? I've had vocal teachers, vocal coaches, I'll say. And I think for me, it's constantly learning. Like real talk, at this playlist last year and this year, I pulled some of the younger singers aside. I did it again this year for them to show me, these plugins they're using, they're putting on their voices, like these auto tunes and these different EQs and these different processes that are making them sound incredible. I'm like, what are these? Because I don't know these. Like, I'm always willing to learn. And sure, I can sit down and they might pick my brain on certain business things that I'm doing. But I'm like, okay, what are you doing in the studio? What is that plug in? What does that do? How do you turn this? How do you make this work? So I think there's always lessons. I'm always willing to sit down. I'm always willing to remove my ego out the equation to talk about the betterment of art and how I can remain creative, or how I can sound different, And so I learned a lot of stuff last week, and hopefully we can apply all that stuff. But mentorship, constantly. I'm always just taking, for me, like, I was struggling with traveling, and Stokely said you should do this parenthood tour. I remember he said it, and he was like, they leave Thursday night, they're back home Sunday night, they take the kids to school on Monday, and I was like, that's the music lesson I needed. So it's constant. I think it's constant. And I'm very fortunate to have some amazing people around me who help me stay on top of my game. Will you do a meet and greet when you come to New Haven in November? I believe so. I pray so. If everything's allowed, I'll do that. Yeah. Phoenix said process shirts, maybe. Yeah. I mean, the sky's the limit with the process. It really is. Like, so I would just say, get ready. You know what I mean? As much as we can, as much as we can do, I think we're down to try to do it. Okay. Now we're on this YouTube stuff, and people have some questions. Let me open. All right, I'm still scrolling down. When do you have time to rest? I rest. I think. To be honest with you, I think other people's schedules are just as crazy as mine. I think your average 9 to 5er. I can't imagine, sitting at a desk for 9 hours a day, and then having to drive through 45 minutes of traffic, and then going home and cooking dinner for your kids, and putting them to bed, and possibly still have to go over a couple of little business papers before you go. I mean, or have to do your pay your bills or something. I mean, this. I think it's like no matter what you're doing, it's an effort. You know what I mean? It's an effort. So if you're trying to get things done, you're gonna be tired. And so I don't think I'm any more tired than a lot of you incredible parents and workers that you guys are doing. Shout out to you guys. Okay. So Tanya said, I'm really dope as an artist and mentor. Thank you, Tanya. I feel like I mentor a lot of artists. I think, I don't think I purposely do it. I think it's just the goal. The goal is to challenge somebody to improve me when they're around me. And my goal is to improve you when you're around me. You know what I mean? The goal is that we just make each other better. And that's like not even just from musically, but just like how you doing, keep it 100. We're working on the Storm and Connors project, and it got paused. It got stopped because his manager got sick. And just this morning, I hit the manager up, and I was like, "Listen, man, I'm making sure so you don't think I'm hitting you up to see how you doing, and give you words of encouragement that you feel better and you get well. Now get well so that we can get this project done, or that you can send a check. Just get well, because that's the most important thing. I just wanted to make sure send that words of upliftment. And at the end of the day, man, it's all about that health. Business stuff. We're gonna make money. We're gonna make this stuff work. Songs gonna go somewhere. They're gonna come out. People gonna love them. But like, where you at? And that's the same thing as the keyboard players or the drummers or whoever. Like, where you at? Like, how healthy are you doing? What you working on? Like, take an interest and make sure that people know that they're responsible for something else. Like, you guys are responsible for the success of this process. I could post as much as I want to, but if y'all not commenting and not joining in, what good is it? We're all a part of this. We're all like making this thing happen. And I think that's, I don't know if that's mentorship. I think it's just connection. I do back my phone up often. Yeah, that's a good point. How did you come up with the idea of making songs up on the spot during your concerts? I think that's a genius move to show your creative flow. It started in London. I remember my first real show in London. I used a house band. I couldn't afford to fly my band out there. And they had a certain amount of songs that they had worked out. And we did all those songs. And then we had an encore, which I was prepared for. And I walked off stage, and the crowd kept yelling. We had to do another encore, walk off stage, and no one knew that we played all the songs. We played the songs over again. And I remember coming out there and going, I don't have any more songs. We sang everything for you. Like, I came to the crowd, and they were like, well, make something up. And I was like, okay, I'll make something up. I'm a hip hop kid. Backstage, I'm freestyling nonstop. So it's like, it's just the daring to try to do it in front. And I think a lot of artists could do it. I think the talent is really the fact that we did it. Not the fact that we can do it. But once again, it's another one of those things that I'm willing to fail in front of people. By chance, we might make magic. And that's the perfect example. That's a perfect example. If it works, everyone's going to be talking about this for months from now. If it doesn't work, so be it. We got to show them all. And let's make it happen. Oh, I've been bummed so much by me. I just write for my friends. Sister Nicole, bummed by the music industry. You just write for your friends. I definitely get you on that. And I will tell you what it reminds me of is a statement that Jazzy Jeff said today, which was so brilliant. I want to say I wrote it down. And he was talking about a friend of his that quit the music business. He said, "You're quitting music. What did the music do to you?" Which was like brilliant. So that, which made me think of, don't quit the foundation. Don't quit the house because a window is broken. It's okay. Someone didn't like your album, or someone like tried to steal an idea. That doesn't mean you stop doing music, because music didn't do anything to you. Maybe some of the foul people in the business did stuff to you, but at no point should you stop doing music. So that's good, you're doing music for your friends. Alan Storr, Eric, one of my dreams is to produce or write a song with you. How would somebody go about submitting music to you? Second question, do you have any plans on signing other artists to Blue Arrow Soul? So Alan, first of all, it's very easy to send music to me. I'll tell you is, if anyone's interested in sending music to me, the email to send music to is pingame@gmail. Pin, game like a basketball game @gmail. And I'll definitely take a listen to it. Maybe slow at listening to it. Pray for me, but I will definitely get a listen to it. And the main thing is just keep working. I mean, most of the producers that I work with, people I met on the road or met at shows, or just people pass it, like, mixtape to me or whatever. Like, it's, I mean, if you look at my albums, you have, very credited multi-platinum Grammy award-winning producers right next to like the percussion player in the band that just joined. Like, if it just sounds dope, it sounds dope, and dope is dope, period. Do I have plans of signing other artists to Blue Arrow Soul? I'll be honest with you, the industry has to improve right now. We're in shambles right now. And I think in a day and age right now where we're not really selling records, it'd be hard for me to take another artist and put them out on my label where I'm taking a cut of some kind, like trying to deal with it. Like, what I will tell you is that probably for the last 8 years, when I have met artists that I like that I probably would sign, what I do is I usually just set them up. Every resource I have, you can have. Every booking agent, every whatever you can just have, and I'll really probably will support you and advise you to the point where if you were on my label, because truth be told, if you were on my label, you'd be doing so much work that you might as well have your own. And that's kind of how it is. I kind of put people through the challenges, and I try to support them through it. How's the intro project coming? That's a great question, Nikki. It kind of stands still. I think dare I say, I think the business people and the surviving members of intro are the standstill of some sort. Songs are done, just waiting on them. And I think it can happen. I think we're all kind of talking, just kind of checking on each other, but they haven't came over to even do the S3V ballot yet. So like, I'm just at this point, I'm like, all right, I got you an S3V ballot. I'm waiting, and we'll see what happens. And that's, listen, the music business, that's the norm. It's called hurry up to wait. It's like, yo, we're doing this project. We need something right away. And then right away, and it's like crickets, paperwork, crickets, lawyer, paperwork, crickets. It's like, whenever we can get back to the music, all be great. So I think it's happening. We just gotta bear down and wait. This is the fly on the wall experience I mentioned on the other platform, just sitting and listening to music creators express to talk about. Okay, thank Brother Bilal, man. Shout out to you, brother. Really also enjoying you and your wife on this process, and as we guys are creating. Kylie's were tracking on her messages. I'm trying to see. King is amazing. Mascara by Jazmine Sullivan sounds like it's probably my favorite song on her album by far. As a song that when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, I wish I wrote this song. And Jazmine is amazing. I've known Jazmine for a long time, and I'm really proud of her. And when I turned 30, I had a big concert in my parents' backyard for my 30th birthday. So I'm 44 now, so it was 14 years ago. And I had Vivian Green perform, Jazmine Sullivan, I don't know how low, she was very young, she was like in her teens. Ty Tribbett and GA, his whole choir. Who else performed? Liz Fields. You guys remember her? It was pretty crazy. I knew we had a big old tent and it was pouring rain, but it was a phenomenal time. What up, Bilal Jr.? It's ain't past your bedtime. You gotta go to bed, buddy. So on an album like Left, do you try to limit the amount of time your feature artists, or do you let them just feel it? For example, Kurt Chamber Kill couldn't hear her. Great question. First of all, I think if I'm ever collaborating, I'm limiting is a word I definitely do not like to use. So I'm never one to limit somebody. If anything, I might be pushing you to try to get a more genuine or a bigger performance. And that sometimes there is a pulling back. Sometimes you're producing somebody to maybe simplify, make an idea more tangible. But shine on, man. Like, shine on Kurt. Like Kurt on Couldn't Hear Her gave the guitar solos, and it's like more power to that brother, man. Like for real, he's a phenomenal musician. And you know, it's not really about that. It's like, to me, it's like if he shines, I shine. If he wins, I win. And that's the way I feel like that in the whole industry. If PJ Morton puts out a slamming album, it's only going to help me. If Kendrick the Family Soul puts out a slamming album, it's only going to help me. If I put out a slamming album, it's only going to help Dwelle. It's only, you know, it's like we all kind of got to keep. Nobody's ending my career. I work too hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's just nobody's ending anybody's career. Like, I think just it's all for the betterment. It's all for the betterment. Oh, I think I may have lost my way. Where am I at? Oh, okay. Something happened in the shot down. Y'all good? Everybody good? You mentioned getting started because your sister on some video I saw a while ago. Is she performing? Does she take credit for all your success? So my sister's name Alicia Bell, and you know, it's funny. I wrote my sister for her birthday. I wrote her a poem called "The Copycat," and it was about how I really have just been a copycat of hers. My wife is, my sister is married with 3 kids. She's married with 3 boys. I'm married with 3 boys. My sister was 5 years older than me, and she was enormously talented. What I would say is my sister's an interior decorator now, so she's still part of the creative. If you ask me like what I'll be doing if I didn't sing, I'll have a business with my sister. We'd be like creating wall panels and flower arrangements for weddings, and like you know designing furniture and stuff like that. Like, you know, she's a beast. Like, she's like by far the most talented person I know. She could sing, she could dance her face off, but she also can like build a desk. You know what I mean? Like, she's a beast, man. She's a beast. So I was really honored to like just grow up behind her. And she's pretty modest, but I think, you know, she definitely could take credit. She really could. What international artists, especially not in the UK or Canada, do you love? That was a tough one. Fela Kuti comes to mind. You know, Femi Kuti comes to mind as well. And I worked with an artist in South Africa named Kopo, who's pretty dope. I just recently did a song with another brother from South Africa, and I can't remember his name. It was right before we started the process, but I need to find a song and post it because I think you guys will like it. I don't know what they're doing with it, but dope is dope. Dope is dope. What song did you give away and it ended up being the biggest hit? I mean, it's not giveaway. I mean, you know, Emotional Roller Coaster, which honestly Viv wrote majority of. We wrote it together. It was a big hit. I mean, a lot of those songs are collaborations. You know, the Musiq Soulchild stuff are big records, but they weren't singles. So I mean, it kind of, you know, my career has always been like, it hasn't been like big, powerful single, smash, smash, smash. My records, my career has been like, I'm on records that the album that you love. And this is like this special song that sounds a little different. So that's kind of always been my niche. Like, that's what that album sounds like. Oh, but that song has a little touch to it. It's like I'm the little touch guy. I put a little song it's a little different, but I love it. I'm proud of it. Oh, thank you. So, boy, Troy Stewart said, "Why did you lie to the good folks at DC about Spade playing?" I didn't lie, Troy. I used to smack you and Bubby in spades. We can get it popping anytime. In fact, listen, we can have a process spades tournament, and all of y'all could get it. Did I blink? No, okay, I blinked. All right, but I'll be at the World Cafe live on the 31st. Would like to hear you perform Summertime. Will it still be summer? We might do it. If it's still summer. What's your favorite rap hip hop album of all time? Robert, dang, that's a tough one. Midnight Marauders, or Mos Def's Black on Both Sides, or Jay Dilla's Welcome to Detroit. It's hard to pick from those. Midnight Marauders. If you could interpret an album of an artist, who would it be or which album? I mean, Anthony David is doing a Bill Withers tribute album. That's a great idea. I would probably be Bill Withers. I don't know if I can actually name an album. The one where he's doing the math equations, where he has can we pretend that from now on there is that's a great record. Jeez. Yeah, that's probably the one. Couldn't hear or super dope. We just listened to it. Okay, appreciate it. What you could sing, couldn't hear. Couldn't hear her is probably what you like. We do couldn't hear me a lot. We never really do couldn't hear her, but sometimes we could. Amateur artists, if you have time to check out, I'm going to snapshot this picture of what you're saying. So I want to look these artists up. Unless you're real ignorant. Hold on, where is that? Snapshot. Sarah Tavar. There's a brother. There's a great singer from Spain. This is really ignorant. I'm like so sidetracked. Man. There's I can't remember the name, but I was in London one time, and this taxi driver told me about the singer, and like a phenomenal help for me. But I don't see it. It's a D. Francois said, "Okay, I'm here for the space. You ain't here for no space." Told me, all right. Don't you renege now? Don't you? All right. We're gonna do this. We can do the space tournament. You do a little tour. We do a little space tournament tour. Where like a sound check. We just have a little table ready. Bring your cards. Speaking of music, that merry-go-round spoke to my soul and still does. One of the greatest records for sure. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, it was a great record. It was a great record. I was showing my day and we produced that record. It was phenomenal. He does not mean it with the spades. Troy, if you don't stop, I mean it with the spades. Anybody who wants something, we can easily get it. I ain't scared of nobody. Finney said Jose James is doing a Bill Withers tribute too. Dang, man, jump on Bill Withers. Okay. Would it be possible to hear one of the songs that didn't make the Earth on Fire during August 31st meet and greet? Maybe keep in touch. During the August 31st meet and greet. Holly, love you to death. It's probably not happening during the meet and greet. Like, is there a sound check? The band doesn't know it, and it'd be tough to kind of put the band through rehearsal. If we're not, not really like carrying it all the way through. But I think these songs always have a chance to find their way. So hopefully we'll actually do it. So guys, it is 10:35. We've been on here for an hour and a half. I believe I answered all of your questions. Who do you do a tribute record of? Who would you do a tribute record of? I think it'd be dope to. I mean, Bill Withers, everybody's doing it, but he's the artist that I relate to the most. I think Stevie will be great too, but I think I do Stevie tributes at shows. I mean, Stevie's his vocal. I mean, you gotta do your push-ups. You're gonna sing some Stevie. Same way like Prince and Michael. Like this is tough. I would probably I'm gonna do like Erykah Badu. Like really have a man sing Erykah Badu song. I think it'd be very dope. Spike Lee should have used the Fire CD for the Black Klansman. He needs you on the soundtrack. What I will tell you is that I should have probably sent it to Spike Lee for the Black Klansman. Yeah. So unfortunately, I didn't. Don said, you guys are hitting me with the final questions on the way out. Said, are we doing a meet and greet for Philadelphia? Yes. I'm almost positive we'll do that one. I do not think we're doing a meet and greet for Mableton, Georgia this week, unfortunately, because it's other artists and it'd be tough to kind of figure out. But yeah, on my shows, y'all asked so many questions at the end of it, it disappeared. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's Black singer from Spain, most popular. This singer I was talking about wasn't black, but I will still look up this person. Kelly, you better know some singers. I'm trying to school you learn from. No. Listen. This is I'm taking a picture of this one too, so I can look this person up. This is a teacher-student moment. We are to be teachers and students at the same time, all the time, in all things. Amen. In politics, in religion, ain't no person in this world close enough to God to not learn about God. Ain't nobody a master enough in music to not learn something about music. And definitely nobody know what the hell's going on in politics to not learn something about politics. So, I mean, I am here to learn from you guys as much as you're here to learn from me. And that's part of what? The process. All good, guys. So look, we posted some new songs for you guys. Stay tuned for the my first podcast. I'm really, really excited about it. I don't know if you guys are really like podcast fans. I'm a huge podcast fan. I'm very excited about doing a podcast on this. I'm trying to put a lot of work into it, a lot of research, and really make it really good. I'll be posting up a survey on whether you guys want to make a vote on what songs would make the vinyl. So that maybe we'll just put out a process vinyl. Like this would be the vinyl for the process. We'll call it something, whatever. We'll do some artwork for it. And whatever the top 10 songs that you guys vote for, we'll make vinyl for it. Or do we map out and start making like we'll make 10 vote, 10 left, 10 box, 10 music fan first, or whatever, and then we'll just sell them off. We'll try to figure out. But I'm gonna put a survey. I'm gonna make it tomorrow. Right now I'm gonna go upstairs and lay next to my wife. He's probably working, but I would probably do that. And I believe that's everything except for this one comment that might just popped up. Is this question or oh man, what are your thoughts on Gregory Porter? I just got into music about 2 years ago. His voice is one of those unique sounds. Gregory Porter is phenomenal. Great guy, great spirit, and is really one of the biggest, when you really apply like how big he is overseas, one of the biggest artists we have in the world right now. But just he's the response of like just good music is good music. And this guy is so dope. His voice, his phrasing, he's really a beast. So. And I like to perform with him. We've done some shows together. I hope we do some more. All right, so everybody, good vibes that Alan just said. Appreciate everybody. Listen, if y'all got more questions, you can fire them away and we'll get to them. And I'm going to get like this next week, after the show to Georgia, next week, I don't really know if I'm creating much more music. What I would love to do is tighten. So you're going to get some updates on some records. And we'll tighten up some drums, tighten up some vocals. But the goal is to really get it popping. All right. Appreciate everybody. I'll leave you guys with one little thing. My question to you is, how important is peace? How important is peace? Peace. And if it's very important to you, I challenge you to treat peace as if it's a piece of you. Oftentimes, we say peace is enormously important. We say it's the most important thing. Oh God, I hold it near and dear to us. But when challenged, it's the first thing we push away. I'll say it again. When challenged, it's the first thing we push away. Next time you see the avalanche tumbling down in front of you, next time you see the challenge, hold on to your peace. What I'll tell you is that if I asked you how important is your thumb, no matter what your answer is, I'm sure you're like, no. But if I take your thumb and start taking a knife and get ready to try to cut it, what will you do? You will not let me cut that thumb off. Treat peace the same way. Okay? Talk to y'all. God bless. Be safe. All right?